Is it recording? Yes. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Estella Cook, the proud principal here at Sandtown Middle School. I'm Rhonda Mays, one of the other administrators at Sandtown Middle School.
And I am Sarkino Walker.
All right. And today we want to review some of our data that has recently become available, as well as what we've had previously that we analyzed over the summer. And after examining that data, look at what story does that tell about our school, what are our priorities, and where will we go from there with our plan to improve student achievement and learning outcomes here at Sandtown Middle School. There are those things we love so much, our norms. So we are going to follow our norms again for this session. Of course, we're going to respect each other's time, be purpose-driven, and solution-driven. We're going to be transparent and honest about the process. We're going to work with fidelity, assume goodwill, assume that no one has any bad intentions, and we're also going to remember to keep student learning first. Does anyone have any norms they need to add in order to do our best work here together?
But before we begin, let's determine who has JAG swag. So if you could log into the book, and we will display the code for you. So we set up these questions just to give you a little background on Sandtown's history, but first we want to find out how much you already know about Sandtown Middle School. So if you can answer those questions. Is everyone logged on?
One more person? Question number one.
You have 20 seconds to answer that question.
What year did Sandtown first open? Don't forget, you get more points if you answer quickly too. Okay. Next question.
Was the opening of Sandtown Middle School this year?
Genius at this work. administrative team actually took a dive into the data. And the protocol that was used was the Atlas protocol. How many of you have ever used the Atlas protocol before? Okay, great. So I can tell you a little bit about the protocol. These are the steps to it. The first one, well, even before you begin, you still need to establish your norms, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page and they understand the purpose that you're there for. And these are the 5 components to it. So the first one is describing the data. It's just what do you see. In this part of the protocol, you're avoiding judgments. You're not trying to put your implications on it. Just what do you see from the data. No judgments here. And then the next part would be interpreting the data. So once you get to that part of it, that's when you're saying, what does the data suggest? What are the assumptions? This is when you can make your assumptions about the data. The first part you reserve, you just say what you see. Then when it's time to interpret, you can make the assumptions about the students and their learning. Next would be the implications for the practice. So in this part, this is when you're saying what steps can be taken next. What are the strategies that would be most effective? You start to ask yourself, what can you do based on what you see? The next part would be reflecting on the Atlas protocol, and that happens in 2 different groups. You have your facilitator that reflects, and then you have the group that reflects. When the facilitator or the presenter, when they reflect, they're listening to their colleagues and they're saying, what was interesting or surprising. What are some new perspectives that the colleagues presented that maybe you didn't think of? When the group reflects, they're asking questions like, what about my teaching or assessment, can I change? What are the next things that I need to do? You're asking more for yourself. Did some equity questions arise? And then the final part is when you debrief. And you're asking, how well did this process work? Are there things that I need to do better, the next time that I use this protocol? And that pretty much sums up the Atlas protocol that we use this summer to dig into the data.
And next we want to look at our school demographics at Sandtown. So just kind of peruse that 98% Black, 65% of students on free and reduced lunch, 13% of students with disabilities, 23% mobility rate. And in 2016, we considered including the arts school. And what that means is that we perform better than schools with similar demographics.
And I might add that student mobility rate is one of the reasons why in recent years they wanted all the middle schools and the high schools to be on the same type of schedule, because we have a mobility rate of students moving from school to school to school. They switch schools. They come in and come out, right? So, and one thing we learned as recently as yesterday about the free and reduced lunch, I believe the percentage was 40%. We're at 40%. We could potentially apply for either a waiver or a grant that would allow us to choose a free menu option that would allow us to be reimbursed for 100% of the cost, which would almost triple our Title I funding. So I was very excited to hear that yesterday, and that's something that we didn't know. So that'll be something that we'll be looking at for the upcoming school year, because that will help us a lot with even additional teaching positions so we can lower our Title.
Yeah, I think the only thing I might add that we'll have to choose from the Michelle Obama menu, so it'll have to be a healthy, smart school menu.
Which they've already eliminated fried foods anyway, so it won't be too much of a shock.
So the kids are already used to that.
Even at our dinner shows.
So let's look at now our school decline over the past few years. As you can see, in 2014, we were just above 83%. It went down slightly in 2015 and 16, but in 2017, we were at our highest rate in the past 4 years. So that's good news.
So this is our overall CCRPI score, how we compare to the county. So if you notice in 2012, 2013, and 2014, the gap was kind of close. We were pretty close to the county's average. Well, there's a reason for that. In those 3 years, we were still taking the CRCT. So once we enter 2015, now we have the GMAS comparison, and you notice that the gap starts to widen again. Well, the test passing threshold is different. For the CRCT, the threshold, I believe, was 55%,
At the highest, from 45 to 55%.
and for the GMAS is 70. So you need to score higher now just to pass on the GMAS. So that gap is starting to widen again because the threshold is higher.
Right, this is our achievement data comparison over the last 5 years in each of the content areas. And as Ms. Mays was just saying, you can notice how for the first 3 bars in each category, they were significantly higher than when we started taking GMAS in 2015. This also includes our 2017 data, so you can also notice that we had some dips in science and social studies because for one thing, 6th and 7th grade weren't tested in 2017 for science and social studies, so we didn't have those scores available to help us out. And also in science, it was the first year that we offered the high school physical science, and unlike language arts where the students that are taking the 9th grade lit also take the 8th grade ELA, so we still have those student scores. When they take the high school physical science and the algebra 1, they don't also take the corresponding 8th grade EOG. So we're great for advancing our kids and pushing them to the next level, and they're leaving middle school with high school credit, but we also are at a disadvantage because we don't have their scores in the EOG data. So it's kind of a plus and a minus. So when we looked at the data, we wanted to see what story did it tell us. So out of the data crunching, and this won't be new to you, but our 3 big rocks that came out of this were literacy, data-driven instruction through our PLC, and culture and climate. And the literacy one is not unique to Sandtown. It's almost become a district-wide initiative. It's definitely an SLC, South Learning Community, big rock in every single school, because if you think about it, if they're coming to us already 2 or 3 grade levels below on the reading level, we're already, behind the ball when it comes to getting out of the starting gate in 6th grade. So the elementary schools are really, really pushing hard with literacy. We only have them for 3 years, and that's hard work and miracles in 3 years, but that's why it's going to take a concentrated effort outside of just the ELA classrooms to try to potentially get them caught up and ready for high school. And then, of course, data-driven instruction to make sure that we're personalizing the learning for each student to make sure that they're getting what they need, and then culture and climate, which affects everything that happens in the school. So we'll break these down now for each of those 3 areas.
Okay, so first we want to look at the data and then talk about how can we increase the literacy skills of students at Sandtown. So if you review the data, notice that this is from 2017, so the first percentages is our current percentage. So we're at 55% as of yesterday. And 2016, we were at 61%, 2015, 53%. And we're looking at this data over 3 years. And then percentages of our 8th grade students in the Lexile 1050, we're currently at 68%, last year 75%, and the previous year 57%. So I want to just talk briefly about how our connections department is going to help fill that achievement gap. And Ms. Cook just mentioned, we talked about our big rocks, and so the BHAG is our big Harriet audacious goal. And our projection within the next 3 to 5 years, we project that 95% of our ELA students will master the grade level standards by the end of 8th grade. So over the next 3 to 5 years, we hope that 80% by the connections team. We're going to use our CEI writing strategy, and that's claim evidence and interpretation. And we're going to track the students' performance proficiency on our district ELA benchmark assessments, our writing score, fast bridge, and News ELA quiz.
Okay, so our next priority question that derived from the data was focus on math. So it's how can we increase the mathematics achievement of the student at Sandtown Middle School? If we take a look at our content mastery, we notice that the highest we've been in the 3 years is 51%. 47, 51, and this past year, 44. 47, oh, 47, I'm sorry, it's the first quarter. 47. So we have some work to do. We have the same goal as ELA. 95% of the students demonstrating mastery by the end of 8th grade on their standards. And we also have for this year, which the 95% again is over 3 to 5 years. And for this year, our goal is to have a 13% percentage point increase in math for students in proficient and distinguished. And I just want to add that when we, well, I can say it. So the implementation plan. The whole school has received training on CEI. We all know that you can't read, that hinders your progress in a lot of things. We also have that challenge with them in math. So if literacy increases, it helps us with math. They cannot do well with the word problems when they can't read. And you spend a lot of your time breaking down what do words mean, not what is the math behind it. So improving one area improves all areas. So we're all tied together through this process. So one thing that you do helps us. So we're all going to work together to improve in literacy and in math. Yesterday I had the privilege of going to visit a school, and they had this tool that I really want us to use in the math department. And it provides some immediate feedback in a safe way. It's not attached to your TICAS evaluation, so it gives you an opportunity to fix some things before that time happens. And that will help us monitor the practices that we're doing in class. A lot of times we start things, but we don't always follow through or support you in that process. So we want to make sure we do that this year. Support you with the things we're asking you to start and implement. We'll have more data-driven instruction practices. This year our PLCs are aligned vertically. So you're in your PLC with the 6th through 8th grade in your same content. So you have more support if it's needed. As a school, we're doing the standards mastery framework and the lesson design protocol, and we'll continue to improve on our process of that as the year goes on. And again, we'll still track the data with the district benchmarks, the internal common assessments that are vetted as a group, and fast bridge data and through RTI.
And before we go to the next part of questions, does anyone remember where those percentages came from, the 13 from our previous sessions that we did on our teacher workday? Anybody remember where the 13 from? 13%. Chick-fil-A card employees. By throwing some Wendy's. All right.
So I would gather that the 13% would get us to either at meeting with districts at where they are, or they can say.
Good try. Not quite good, but good try. Do we have another sample? Just one or two.
No, I mean, I'm taking it. And I most certainly don't review it. Was it already included in the school group?
Well, it is, but where did it come from?
Oh,
That's what I'm
and
asking.
we
Where did
get
the
to
13
that particular
Right.
number. Oh.
Is that where we percentage you are in it, so that's showing like we in our highest versus the schools in that.
Close. So it's kind of a combo. So okay, I'll give it to you. So we looked at the zone of proximity of students that were within 5 points of performing at the next band. So 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, they were within 5 points. And so that's called zone of proximity. Let's do a choral response. Get in that brain. Zone of proximity. Awesome. So we looked at it. Just so happened to be the same for ELA and math across the board. Now that's the whole school. When we broke it down by grade level, it was different for each grade level. But overall, for the whole school, it happened to be 13% of our students were within 5 points in ELA and math at being at the next highest grade band. So that's where that number came from. Okay, so we need to be able to speak to that. Okay. All right. Our last priority question is how can we improve the culture and climate at our school? So our key data we looked at, and this comes from our CCRPI data for the last few years, and this is how it's reported, and this is what affects our climate score. So there's 2 components to that. It's the actual raw data that gets entered into each school based on referrals and the suspension, and then there's also the survey data. And remember, the students take the survey, staff, parents, everybody takes the survey. So but just from the raw data from the actual events, those are our numbers, and you want these numbers to be high because that means that you're not having them. So it's kind of a reverse. So don't think, oh my gosh, we have 94% bullying. You want it to be high, which means that you have that percentage of students not involved in those things. Okay? So you can see that in those 70s, we definitely want that to drop down or to increase so that we have fewer students that are involved in those things. Okay? So with that, again, our BHAG in the next 3 to 5 years, we want 95% of our students to routinely exhibit positive behaviors and decision making. So for that SMART goal for this year, we looked at Rule 1B, the one for disruptive behavior and disruption of school, because a lot of that would then lead to other things. So if we can decrease 1B by 50%, then it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. When you get the chicken right, then the eggs become right. So to do that, our plan is, of course, to implement our PIVOS framework with Fidelity and our new PIVOS Rewards online system. We were able to get our ID card maker in before the budget freeze. We'll be receiving that, and since the students are taking pictures, they'll actually be able to wear it on this lanyard, and it'll have a barcode or a QR code on the back, so it'll make it even easier to assign people's points, because you can just scan it with your phone or your iPad or even the camera on your laptop. It's going to give individual students points. We'll also be implementing the social and emotional learning activities through RTI that you'll be hearing more about today, with the Rachel's Challenge, the first 5 minutes, as well as further down the field study that they'll be doing on Mondays, filling up a bucket full of happiness. And a new feature, student goal setting talk. This is another piece of learning that we have from our visit to another school yesterday. And it's something that I've done before at a previous middle school, and it actually is
would say one thing I was glad to hear, and I think will be effective, is having those talks with the students surrounding different things, you know, the data talks, behavioral talks. Because I think I just remember growing up within the school, every moment was a teachable moment. You know, I just felt like, I know it's difficult now, but I felt like back then teachers had more time to really take advantage of those opportunities and kind of talk things through. You know, it wasn't just hand down a consequence and then move on sort of deal. And so I think, you know, that's missing now because our hands are tied in so many ways. But I think you kind of bringing it forward, I think it'll be effective over the long term.
Now let's think about the ease that that might create for our students. If you look at our population, you know, we're about 900 students. If every student can come in one-on-one, not because they have a disciplinary problem or not because someone is bothering them, but just come in and just have a talk. Think about the ease that we create for the students. So that means that at any point, I feel like I can go to the office and say whatever I need to say. Think about how many students walk around almost unnoticed. We know all that percentage that we have that participate in everything. You know, I would say we have about maybe 200, 250 students that participate in most activities that we have at the school. But, you know, what about the other 600 to 700 kids? And think about how they might feel if they've got that one-on-one. You know, one-on-one with the principal or the administrator or the instructional coach. They may feel like they can come and say, you know what, Coach Anderson, can you help me? I don't understand what's going on. Mr. Mays class, you know, for example. So I'm thinking about the environment that we would create for the students, which will also continue to increase our climate.
Add a little bit to what you just said. I have sixth grade, as you all know, and they're a little more needy and demanding of your time than the older students. So there are groups of kids on different days that I have lunch with. Not because of the punishment, just they're having a hard time with their transition from elementary school to middle school. Some of them have some social problems, so I've been teaming them up with kids so they can at least have a friend or somebody that you feel like you can talk to other than me, because they do just walk in and talk to me often. They're kids who I know are withdrawn, so I've gone in their class and presented them with prizes for, you know, I've been pulling their grades and I saw that, you know, you made whatever on the test or you had all A's on your report card, just to give them that one moment in the spotlight because they're not the popular kids. I don't do it every day, but when I do, you can see them light up. So I do know it's something that we need to do more often, but with your day-to-day routine, sometimes you just get bogged down with the ones that don't follow the rules, and so we sometimes forget about the ones that are doing everything that we ask them to do. So when I do remember to do it, you know, it does add some positive to their day. So I will try to make sure I do it more often, because sixth grade definitely needs that support.
And if you think of any other ideas after